The shock of toxic words. When your own child speaks to you in a toxic way, it feels like the deepest wound a parent can carry. It's not just about words, it's about the history behind those words. You remember the nights you stayed awake to comfort them when they cried. You remember the sacrifices you made so they could eat, sleep, and smile. And in a single moment, when they throw harsh words at you, it feels as if all that love has been forgotten. That pain cuts differently. It is not like an insult from a stranger. It is a sting from the very soul you brought into this world. But here's the truth we often overlook. Words are not always about you, even when they are spoken to you. Toxic words usually reveal the storm that's raging inside the one who speaks them. Your child may be carrying burdens you cannot see. Insecurities, frustrations, comparisons, or influences from the outside world. When they lash out, it is rarely about rejecting your love. It is more about their inability to process their own emotions. And yet, as parents, the natural reaction is hurt. We take it personally because our love runs so deep. The first awakening step here is to pause. Instead of responding with anger or shame, breathe. Understand that their words are a mirror of their inner state, not a definition of who you are as a parent. Reacting in the same toxic tone will only deepen the wound for them and for you. But if you stand in your strength, calm, and wisdom, you become the safe space they don't even know they're crying out for. Think of it like this. When a storm hits, the tree that bends survives. If you meet harshness with harshness, you create a battlefield. But if you meet harshness with grounded strength, you create an atmosphere of healing. Your silence in that moment is not weakness, it is power. It's not about letting disrespect slide, it's about holding back your emotion long enough to choose a response that brings growth instead of destruction. Ask yourself this: do I want to win this argument, or do I want to win my child's heart back? The two are not the same. Winning the argument might give temporary satisfaction, but it can build walls between you and your child. Winning their heart requires patience, compassion, and perspective. Understand this also. Toxic words don't erase years of love. They are not the whole story. They are only a chapter, a rough page in the long book of your relationship. If you anchor yourself in this truth, you won't allow one hurtful moment to define your bond. So the shock of toxic words is real. Yes, it hurts. But it can also become a moment of awakening. Instead of asking, why is my child doing this to me? Shift your question to, what is my child going through that makes them speak this way? That shift in perspective opens the door for healing, for them and for you. Understanding the root of toxic behavior. When your child speaks harshly, it's easy to take it personally and feel attacked. But the truth is, their words often reveal something deeper than surface anger or rebellion. Toxic behavior is rarely about you. It is a reflection of what they are struggling with inside themselves. Every hurtful word, every sharp tone, every disrespectful comment is like a signal from their inner world, a call for understanding and guidance. Children are still learning to navigate their emotions. They have not yet developed the tools to express frustration, disappointment, fear, or sadness in constructive ways. When they lash out, it is often because they feel overwhelmed, unheard, or misunderstood. Their toxic words are symptoms of an internal imbalance, not the essence of who they are. Recognizing this distinction is the first step in transforming your response from reactive to conscious. It's also important to understand the influence of their environment. Peer pressure, social media, stress at school, or even observing conflict at home can shape how they communicate. When your child repeats toxic patterns, it's often a reflection of what they have absorbed rather than what they consciously choose. They are mirrors of the energy around them. And while this doesn't excuse harmful behavior, it provides context and opens the door for compassionate intervention. As a parent, your awareness is your most powerful tool. Instead of responding with anger, shame, or punishment, pause and ask, what is my child feeling right now? What unmet need or unprocessed emotion is causing this reaction? This shift in perspective allows you to see beyond the words and recognize the underlying message. Toxic speech is often a cry for attention, reassurance, or understanding. It may be their way of saying, "I feel small, frustrated, or insecure, and I don't know how to ask for help." Empathy does not mean tolerating abuse. It means holding space for both truth and compassion. You can set boundaries firmly while remaining emotionally grounded. You can say, "I hear your anger, but I will not accept disrespect," while also exploring what triggered that anger. In this balance, the parent models emotional intelligence, teaching the child how to navigate intense feelings without harming others. It's also vital to reflect on your own reactions. Children are sensitive to energy. When you respond from your own frustration or defensiveness, it amplifies the storm. When you respond from awareness, patience, and calm, you guide them towards self-regulation. Your presence becomes a safe harbor, showing that anger and hurt can exist without destroying relationships. Lastly, remember that toxic behavior is often temporary if addressed with care, consistency, and awareness. Your child's words may cut sharply today, but your mindful response plants seeds for long-term growth. They learn that love is not conditional on perfection, that mistakes do not define worth, and that even in their darkest moments, they are seen, heard, and guided. Understanding the root of toxic behavior transforms frustration into opportunity. Every harsh word becomes a lesson, every conflict becomes a doorway, and every moment of resistance becomes a chance to cultivate emotional maturity and spiritual growth for both parent and child. By seeking the root, you step beyond reaction and enter conscious, compassionate, and transformative parenting, transforming the response into conscious guidance. When your child speaks to you in a toxic or disrespectful way, your first instinct may be to react, anger, frustration, or even withdrawal. But true transformation begins when you pause and recognize that your response is far more powerful than their words. Every reaction you have is a teaching moment, whether you realize it or not. Your energy, your calm, and your awareness in that moment shape not only your child's behavior, but their understanding of themselves and the world. Conscious guidance starts with presence. Being present means you are fully engaged in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When your child lashes out, you resist the urge to immediately correct, punish, or lecture. Instead, take a deep breath, center yourself, and meet their energy with grounded awareness. This pause creates space for clarity, allowing you to respond from intention rather than impulse. You show your child that emotions are not meant to control actions, and that every feeling, anger, fear, or frustration can be experienced without causing harm. Next comes the power of reflection. After pausing, reflect back what you perceive to your child. This is not criticism, it is observation. For example, you might say, "I see that you are frustrated right now, and it seems like you're struggling to express it." By labeling the emotion and separating it from judgment, you help them recognize their feelings without shame. Children often act out because they have not yet learned to identify or process their internal experiences. Your reflection provides a mirror, a safe space where they can begin to understand themselves. Empowerment is another key element. Toxic words often emerge from a sense of helplessness or lack of control. Guide your child toward choices, even small ones, that help them regain their power constructively. Ask questions like, "How would you like to handle this?" or "What could we do differently next time?" When children are given agency within boundaries, they learn that they can influence outcomes positively rather than resorting to anger or disrespect. Equally important is modeling emotional mastery. Children learn more from what you do than what you say. If you maintain calm, practice patience, and respond with kindness under pressure, your child absorbs these behaviors subconsciously. They begin to understand that true strength is not in domination or yelling, but in measured, mindful action. Your consistency becomes a blueprint for their own emotional regulation, a guide they carry throughout life. Boundaries and accountability remain essential. Conscious guidance does not mean tolerating abuse or accepting harmful words. Set clear limits. I will listen when you speak calmly. I cannot engage when you yell. Firm boundaries combined with empathetic guidance teach responsibility and respect. Your child learns that they are loved and supported, yet their behavior has consequences, a balance critical for emotional and spiritual development. Finally, remember that transformation is a gradual process. Each interaction is an opportunity to cultivate patience, understanding, and spiritual growth for both parent and child. Your presence, reflection, empowerment, and consistent modeling shape not only their behavior, but their character. Toxic moments become lessons in emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and the power of conscious choice. By transforming your response from reaction to conscious guidance, you shift the dynamic. What was once conflict becomes a space for learning, connection, and growth. You are no longer merely a parent reacting to toxicity. You are a spiritual guide, illuminating a path towards self-awareness, emotional mastery, and mutual respect. In this transformation, both you and your child awaken together. Building emotional resilience through daily practices. Emotional resilience is the cornerstone of conscious parenting. When a child speaks in a toxic or disrespectful way, your ability to remain centered, compassionate, and firm comes not from willpower alone, but from consistent inner practice. Resilience is not a trait we are born with. It is cultivated daily through intentional habits that strengthen the mind, calm the heart, and align the spirit. One of the most powerful tools for building resilience is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of observing the present moment without judgment. Each time your child lashes out, your emotions may surge, but mindfulness allows you to notice the rising anger, frustration, or sadness without being consumed by it. Take slow, deliberate breaths and anchor yourself in the awareness that you are the observer, not the emotion itself. With consistent practice, mindfulness trains your nervous system to respond calmly rather than react impulsively. Journaling is another transformative habit. Each day, take a few minutes to reflect on your interactions with your child. Record what triggered emotional turbulence, how you responded, and what you could improve. Writing fosters clarity and self-awareness, helping you identify patterns in both your child's behavior and your own reactions. Over time, you begin to recognize the recurring emotional triggers and develop strategies to handle them with calm precision. Meditation is equally essential. Even 5 to 10 minutes of daily meditation can create profound shifts in your emotional equilibrium. Meditation allows you to connect with your inner stillness, the unshakable part of yourself that remains untouched by words, actions, or chaos. This quiet strength becomes the foundation for every interaction, enabling you to respond with patience and wisdom instead of frustration or fear. Gratitude practice strengthens resilience in subtle but powerful ways. By consciously acknowledging the positive aspects of your child and your parenting journey, you shift your focus from conflict to connection. Gratitude softens your heart, reduces emotional reactivity, and reminds you that every challenge is also an opportunity for growth, for both you and your child. A simple daily reflection on moments of joy, cooperation, or mutual understanding can drastically alter your perspective and emotional endurance. Physical wellness supports emotional resilience as well. Exercise, adequate sleep, and mindful nutrition directly affect your mood regulation, energy, and patience. A healthy body provides a strong foundation for a disciplined mind. When your body is balanced, your ability to handle toxic words with clarity and composure increases exponentially. Finally, seek spiritual alignment. This may involve prayer, reading uplifting material, or connecting with a higher purpose beyond immediate frustrations. Spiritual practice reminds you that challenges are opportunities for growth, and that your child's difficult behavior is not a reflection of your inadequacy, but an invitation to deepen your presence, understanding, and love. Consistency is the key. Resilience is built brick by brick through repeated practice and conscious intention. Each pause, each mindful breath, each reflective journal entry strengthens your capacity to handle challenges calmly. Emotional resilience is not about suppressing feelings. It is about mastering the art of response, remaining grounded in love and awareness, and creating a stable environment for your child to learn, grow, and transform. By integrating these practices into daily life, you build a reservoir of calm and strength. Toxic words lose their power over you, and every difficult interaction becomes a doorway to growth. You move from reactive parenting to conscious leadership, from conflict to connection, from chaos to calm. In this way, emotional resilience is not only your shield, it is your superpower, guiding your child and transforming toxic moments into lessons of growth. Every time a child speaks in a toxic or hurtful way, it is easy to feel anger, frustration, or disappointment. The natural human reaction is to respond defensively, to scold, or to react with irritation. Yet each of these moments carries a hidden opportunity, a chance to transform what seems negative into a lesson of growth, both for the child and for the parent. Spiritual awakening in parenting lies in recognizing these moments not as battles to win, but as invitations to cultivate patience, understanding, and inner strength. The first step in transformation is shifting perspective. Toxic words from a child often mask deeper emotions, fear, insecurity, confusion, or a struggle to express themselves. When you look beyond the surface, you begin to see that their behavior is a mirror, reflecting not only their inner world, but also the areas where guidance, love, and calm presence are most needed. Instead of reacting with judgment, pause and ask, what is my child truly feeling? What unmet need is behind these words? This awareness allows you to respond with clarity rather than react impulsively. Next, embrace the power of conscious communication. A toxic statement can become a teaching moment if addressed with mindfulness and composure. Speak slowly, clearly, and calmly. Reflect back what you hear without blame. I hear that you're frustrated because things didn't go your way. This approach validates their feelings while maintaining your own emotional boundaries. It demonstrates that even in challenging moments, connection, respect, and understanding are possible. Over time, this consistent modeling teaches your child how to express themselves without toxicity. Another essential element is self-reflection. Every time you encounter toxicity, ask yourself, why does this affect me so strongly? Often, our emotional reactions reveal unresolved patterns from our own past. By examining your triggers, you not only strengthen your resilience, but also prevent the cycle of reactive responses from perpetuating. Parenting in this way becomes a path to your own spiritual awakening, a journey of growth parallel to your child's. Discipline, when combined with compassion, transforms toxic moments into structured lessons. Set clear, firm boundaries without shame or anger. Toxic words do not deserve indulgence, yet they deserve understanding. Explain calmly why certain expressions are harmful and guide your child toward healthier ways of communicating. Consistency in this approach fosters respect, accountability, and emotional intelligence. Gratitude can also be applied even in difficult moments. Being grateful for the opportunity to teach, to connect, and to strengthen your own patience transforms a negative encounter into a meaningful experience. When you shift from frustration to appreciation, you break the cycle of reactive energy and replace it with constructive, mindful interaction. Finally, anchor yourself in higher purpose. Your child's behavior, no matter how challenging, is part of a larger spiritual journey for both of you. See these moments as opportunities to cultivate love, wisdom, and awareness. Each interaction is a step toward raising not just a well-behaved child, but a conscious, emotionally intelligent human being. Through this approach, toxicity ceases to be a problem and becomes a teacher. Every harsh word, every challenge, every emotional storm is a doorway to growth. By responding with awareness, patience, and purpose, you transform conflict into connection, anger into understanding, and difficulty into spiritual evolution. In this way, parenting becomes not just a responsibility, but a practice of awakening for you and for your child. Awakening the parent and child connection. The ultimate goal of parenting is not simply to correct behavior, but to awaken a deep, conscious connection between parent and child. When children speak in toxic ways, it is easy to become reactive, defensive, or emotionally overwhelmed. Yet these moments carry within them a profound invitation to deepen your awareness, strengthen your patience, and cultivate a relationship rooted in understanding rather than fear or conflict. Spiritual awakening in parenting begins when you recognize that every interaction, no matter how challenging, is a doorway to connection. First, understand that your child's toxicity is never a reflection of your failure. It is an expression of their inner world, a world shaped by emotions they cannot yet fully navigate. When a child lashes out, it is often a call for attention, understanding, or love in a way they know how to express. By seeing this behavior through the lens of awareness, you stop reacting from the ego and start responding from the soul. You become the calm center in their storm, a steady presence that guides rather than punishes. Next, embrace empathy as your most powerful tool. Put yourself in your child's shoes and ask, what are they feeling? What are they afraid of? What unmet need is behind their words? Empathy does not mean excusing toxic behavior. It means recognizing the human experience beneath the surface. This shift in perception allows you to respond with compassion rather than anger, creating a safe space where the child can begin to express themselves more consciously. Communication is another vital pillar. Speak with clarity, love, and calm authority. Instead of saying, "Don't talk like that," try, "I hear that you are frustrated. Let's find a better way to express it." This approach validates their feelings while setting firm boundaries, teaching them that emotions are natural, but words carry power. Over time, these consistent interactions build emotional intelligence, helping children understand the impact of their expressions and choose kindness over toxicity. Self-awareness as a parent is equally important. Reflect on your own triggers. Often, a child's toxic words touch unresolved areas within us. By observing your reactions, you learn to separate your own emotional response from the child's behavior. This creates a model of self-mastery that the child absorbs unconsciously, showing them that emotional storms can be observed, managed, and transformed. Discipline, framed with love, ensures that boundaries are respected while maintaining connection. Consistency is key. Children must understand that certain words and behaviors are unacceptable, yet they must also feel valued, seen, and loved. This dual approach of accountability and empathy strengthens trust and nurtures a safe environment for growth. Finally, recognize the spiritual dimension of these challenges. Parenting is not only about raising children, it is about awakening the consciousness of both parent and child. Every harsh word, every outburst, and every moment of tension is an opportunity to practice patience, presence, and understanding. When you respond consciously, you teach your child not only how to communicate, but how to be aware of their own mind and emotions. You show them the path to inner strength, emotional mastery, and compassionate living. In awakening the parent-child connection, you transform conflict into growth, frustration into understanding, and toxicity into spiritual teaching. You move beyond reacting and step into a higher way of being, anchored in love, awareness, and purpose. The relationship evolves into a sacred exchange, where both parent and child learn, grow, and awaken together. As we come to the close of this journey, take a moment to breathe deeply and reflect on what you have discovered. The way your children speak to you, whether harshly, disrespectfully, or in a toxic manner, is not simply a challenge. It is an invitation. It is a doorway to awakening, a call to deepen your awareness, strengthen your presence, and embody the highest version of yourself as a parent. Every harsh word is not a personal attack. It is a reflection of their inner struggle, a signal that your guidance, your calmness, and your love are needed now more than ever. Remember, children are mirrors. They reflect back to us the areas within ourselves that require attention, patience, and growth. When a child expresses toxicity, it is an opportunity to observe your own emotional responses. Do you react with anger, frustration, or shame? Or do you pause, breathe, and respond with awareness? Spiritual parenting begins when you choose the latter. The pause, the conscious space between their words and your response, is where true power lives. It is in this sacred pause that transformation begins, both for you and for your child. It is also crucial to understand that love is not weakened by discipline. It is strengthened. Boundaries, when set with clarity and compassion, provide children with the safety they need to explore, express, and eventually master their emotions. By combining empathy with guidance, you teach them not only how to speak with respect, but also how to understand their own inner world. You show them that emotions are natural, but words carry energy and consequences. This teaching is far more lasting than any punishment or reprimand. It becomes a spiritual lesson in self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal responsibility. Equally important is the recognition that your own consciousness is your greatest tool. When you are anchored in self-awareness, the calm and purpose, your presence becomes a stabilizing force in your child's life. They learn through observation, absorbing your ability to respond with patience, grace, and love. You are not simply correcting behavior. You are shaping their inner world, teaching them to navigate life's storms with clarity and resilience. Every moment of toxic interaction becomes a classroom for growth. Every argument, a meditation in awareness, and every difficult conversation, a step toward awakening. Spiritual awakening in parenting is about more than managing words. It is about cultivating a deep, conscious connection. It is about seeing the soul behind the behavior and responding from a place of love, wisdom, and understanding. It is about transforming challenges into opportunities, toxicity into teaching, and conflict into connection. When you parent in this way, you are not only guiding your children, you are also evolving your own consciousness. You become a master of your emotions, a beacon of calm, and a source of unconditional love. So, step forward with courage, patience, and purpose. Remember that each harsh word is a call to awaken, not to react, but to rise. You have the power to transform every challenge into growth, every toxic interaction into a sacred teaching, and every moment of tension into an opportunity for conscious connection. Your children are learning from the presence you embody, the awareness you cultivate, and the love you radiate. Rise, not just as a parent, but as a spiritual guide, a teacher of life, and a living example of conscious love. The path is not always easy, but it is sacred. By choosing awareness over reaction, compassion over anger, and understanding over judgment, you awaken the highest potential within both yourself and your children. This is the ultimate gift, a legacy of love, wisdom, and inner strength that will echo through generations.